everyone, my name is Victoria and today in my Instant Grammar Help video tutorial we will be talking about stative verbs. So what are they? Let's dive in. You probably wonder why it is correct to say I'm eating ice cream now. And it is incorrect to say, I'm needing a taxi now. Instead, you should say, I need a taxi now. There is a good reason for that, and I'm going to explain it to you. Generally speaking, all verbs in English can be divided into three groups: action or dynamic verbs. These are easy to understand. These are visible actions, such as run or jump. The second group is called stative, or sometimes you can hear state verbs, because they describe states rather than an action. These are cognitive processes such as know, I know, or I remember, for example. They denote desires like I want. Sometimes you can talk about feelings, emotions, thoughts, and other, let's say, invisible processes. And there are some verbs that can be both dynamic or action verbs and stative verbs. So these are like smell or think. But I'll tell you a little bit later about these details. So the most important, the main thing about stative verbs that you should remember is never use state verbs with ing ending. This is the key message, okay? So let's look at those stative verbs. So what are they? To make it easier to remember, I'd like to suggest dividing them into some categories such as feelings and wanting. These are adore, desire, like, dislike, love, hate, envy, prefer, trust, want, and wish. The second category is about senses and perception. Appear, feel, hear, look, see, forget, seem, smell, taste, recognize. The next one is related to opinions, thoughts, such as believe, I believe, doubt, expect, imagine, know, realize, remember, suppose, think, understand. If you're at a more advanced level, you'd probably like to learn all of them. However, if you are a beginner, you can start with those basic stative verbs highlighted in yellow. So you can stop the video right now and learn only those highlighted verbs at the very beginning. So let's move on. We have more to cover. So there is the next list, which denotes verbs of possession. For example, belong to. This car belongs to me. Have, I have a house. Include, lack, own, possess. The next category is related to existing or being. So this is the verb to be, consist of, contain, and exist. And there are other verbs such as concern, cost, depend on, deserve, fit, matter, mean, measure, mind, weigh. So it's quite challenging to memorize all of them at once, but I'm pretty much sure if you want to start with those, you can just learn at the beginning those highlighted ones, and then you can move on to a more advanced level and cover all of them. So just remember that we cannot use these verbs with ing ending, right? So that's the key message. You have to say, I believe you, I need some water, I understand you, I want to tell you. And even if this is happening now, you still have to use simple, present simple tense in this case, not continuous, not ing ending. This is my message that I would like you to remember. So, there are some verbs that can be both dynamic and stative. So, let's look at those. Okay? Let me show. The verb to be and to have can be used, you might be surprised, to be can be used with ing ending, and I'll show you when. Taste or smell, feel, see, think, min, appear, weigh, and look. When we talk about these differences, I'd like to start with the verb to be, okay? So let's have a look at these examples. Alice is always polite. That's her typical behavior. But Alice is being really mean today. This is not typical. And that's why when we want to describe some kind of different behavior, we should use the verb be with ing ending. So you would say she is being, right? So this is the case when we can use it. In other cases, we don't use be with ing. So let's move on and look at the verb to have. So if we talk about possession, so we can say they have a beautiful house in the countryside, which means they own, they possess, right? We do not use it with ing. But if you want to say about something that is happening right now, like they are having lunch with the family, so they are eating, and that's an action, that's when you can use have with ing. And there are many other phrases such as have dinner, have a meeting, have fun, and so on and so forth. So you can use have with ing, but as a collocation with some other verbs that denote action. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we can see the verb taste. So what's the difference? This soup tastes amazing. It means it has an amazing flavor. Or she's tasting the soup. She's trying its flavor. So this is a different meaning, and this is actually an action verb. In this case, we can use it with ing. The same applies to the verb smell. If you can see in this table, the perfume smells wonderful. So it has this wonderful smell. And she's smelling new perfume. So she's trying its smell, let's say, yes, if she likes it or not. The next verb I'm going to talk about is the verb to feel. Let's look at these examples. When do we use it in present simple? When we talk about some texture, for example, this sweater feels so soft and cozy, it feels so good, for example, yes? That's when we use it. The next situation, you can see here, how do you feel about this idea? In other words, I'm asking, what do you think about this idea? So that's when you use it in simple. Present simple. If you use it with ing ending, you should remember about this situation. You can say, she is feeling not very well today. And I'm talking about health, right? Her health is not in the best state, for instance. Or there is another one, she's feeling her way in the dark, which means she's trying to find her way. In spoken language, definitely you can hear, how do you feel? How are you feeling? Or I feel good, I'm feeling good. So people can hear these phrases, and in spoken language you can really use them, and these are both correct. However, the verb to feel refers to stative verbs. You just have to remember this. Okay, let's move on. Next verb is the verb to see. You can say, I see that skyscraper over there. Or you can also add a modal verb can. I can see that skyscraper, right? Or I see what you mean. It means I understand. That's when we use see only in present simple without ing. But if you're talking about a planned action, such as a meeting, for example, you can say, I'm seeing my best friend this weekend. It means I'm meeting up with my friend, right? So that's easy to remember and understand. Now, when we're talking about verbs, we should remember about the verb think. In simple, we can use it when we talk about an opinion. They think this house is too expensive. That's their opinion. Or if they are considering, yes, so buying this house, we can hear they are thinking about buying that house. And now let's move on to the next one, which is mean. What do you mean? You can hear this question is quite popular and quite widely used. So it means, what do you have in your mind? Yes, so that's very simple and clear. In this case, we should always use present simple with the verb mean. Or, for example, what does this word mean in French? So what meaning does it have? It's easy to remember, and I'm sure you've used it multiple times. But when can we use the verb mean with ing ending? Look at this example. They are always meaning to visit us, but they never do. In this case, the verb mean means they have an intention, they intend, they are intending to visit us. And if we use it with the word always, we want to emphasize some kind of irritation. So we are not very happy that they never visit us, right? So this is the only situation when we can use ing with the verb mean. Moving on to the next one, appear. So it appears they don't know where our luggage is, yes, so it's lost. In this case, we want to say it seems. The verb appear means seems. It seems. There is another situation when it can be used with the ing and it will have a different meaning. The band is appearing at the stadium next Sunday, which means they are performing. The band is performing. It's different meaning, as you can see, right? So here we have it seems, and in this second example, it means to perform, which is an action verb, dynamic verb. Okay, I hope this is clear. We're moving on towards the end. So the next verb is weigh. It's easy to understand if you look at examples. It weighs 5 kilos. It means its weight is 5 kilos. Yes, that's how heavy it is. And if we're talking about an action, he's weighing his suitcase to see if he doesn't, maybe it doesn't exceed the limit. It means he's measuring the weight. So it's an action in this case. So that's all for now. And to wrap it up, I'd like to say that stative verbs are never used with ing. But when some of them are used with ing, they just change the meaning. Hope this video was useful. I believe in you, guys. I know you will use them correctly. And if you like this video and you find it useful, explore other grammar lessons to boost your English. Subscribe, like, and share. See you soon!